And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to what has become one of our favorite sessions of the week. It is report time, and we have the Dean of OU, Coach Pettaway, online with us. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great, Dr. Prince. It's a great day to be able to give out a few grades.
Yes, sir, and we're ready to receive what thus has laid out for this week, sir. And as they would say, let the grading begin.
Okay, first up, Florida A&M went down to Grambling, Louisiana. Florida A&M came out on top 20-16. I'm going to give FAMU an A for that game because they're on the road. They played in a tough place, and then on Grambling State side, they're going to get a C today because Grambling is really struggling, and being at home, it didn't help them. They didn't have a very big crowd. I got an opportunity to watch part of that game. So those are the grades that I'm giving out today, one A and one C.
I'm giving a B+ to FAMU because although FAMU was winning, I still haven't seen that signature win just yet, so I'm still looking for that. Maybe I'm expecting too much from them. Grambling, I'm going to give a C as well. They're trying to get over that hump, Coach, but you know, being a coach in Division I level, easier said than done, but these guys keep on grinding for Coach Jackson, and hopefully they'll see some satisfactory for their labors done.
Yes. Well, next up is a trip to Montgomery, Alabama, where Alabama State hosted Mississippi Valley. Alabama State won that game 24-9. I'm going to give Alabama State a B for winning at home, and Valley will get a C. I'm not going to give them a D or an F. They came up short again, but Valley is always in every game that they play, and they're battling. So that's why they did not get a D.
Well, they didn't get a D from me this time. They got a C-, but I thought that they had an answer with the JUCO transfer quarterback, but apparently he's still trying to figure some things out. And as far as Alabama State, I gave Alabama State a B- because they played Valley. Right. And, you know, not taking anything or being disrespectful toward Valley, but, you know, Valley has got some obvious growing pains they're still trying to figure out, and it was almost expected for Alabama State to win this game. Now, watch Valley end up beating my Panthers when they count on the last game of the season, you know.
Yep. And then next up, we'll run down to Jacksonville, Florida, where Jackson State and Bethune-Cookman put on a game this past Saturday. Jackson State won that game 48-8. I'll give Jackson State an A for that game because they played. They're who we thought they were. They played that way. And Bethune-Cookman, they'll get a C because I can't fail them because, once again, these kids have not been home in almost a month.
Well, you're making it rough on me, Coach, because I gave them a C-, they being Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
And I know they hadn't been at home in a long time, but they're still football players. And football players are some of the most, let's say, passionate athletes around. Not that all athletes are not passionate, but they get to display that passion by physically knocking somebody across the room, you know, in their playing surface. But it's something that I can't put my finger on that's going on with Bethune, but I gave them a C-. Jackson State is Jackson State. They're the kings of the hill right now, so I have to give them an A for their effort in this past week's performance.
Right. All right, and next up on our ledger, we go down to Baton Rouge, where Southern took on Alcorn State. Southern won that game 21-17. This was a great game. They had a packed house. I'm going to give Southern an A for winning the game at home. I'm going to give Alcorn State, I'll give the Braves a B because they played a super game. It came down to the end.
Yes, sir. Believe it or not, Coach, I'm giving both of them A's this week. And the reason being, it was a very competitive game.
Yes.
At the first half of the game, it seemed like it was going to be a shootout, but those defenses buckled down, the strategies kicked in, and it was a very good game, an enjoyable game to partake in, whether you were watching or listening to it. So I gave both of them an A for their week's performance.
Well, I can't blame you for that because, like I said, it was a packed house. They did an outstanding job. And then last but not least, my Bulldogs went to Pine Bluff. The game was moved from St. Louis. And they won that game 34-31. So I haven't given them an 8. They're going to get an 8 this week, and Pine Bluff will get a C for losing at home. That game was not watched by very many people. When you look at the box score, there was only like 4,000 people there for that Sunday afternoon game. I guess they were going up against the NFL.
Well, messing behind the madness, I'm giving these guys both A's too, Coach, and here's why. You had the game that was supposed to have been played in St. Louis, but the promoters couldn't show up with the money. Jerry Maguire showed me the money, and they had to pivot and reverse that thing back to Golden Lion Stadium from that Wednesday. So they had a real short turnaround to get people in the seats, which was why you only had probably 4,000. But it was one of the better played games this week that was passed. You had a young man rush for almost 300 yards.
Right.
Scored 4 touchdowns and still came up short, Coach.
Right. That guy's still running. He ran defense so much, he's still running now.
Yes, sir. And look, once again, they're next on the forecast for my Panthers, and I just hope he keep running. By the time you get to us, he's just tired. He said, "I'm tired, boss. I need to take a break." But no, there was a very, very competitive game, and I'm looking for competition level. I'm looking for guys not quitting, and I didn't see that from neither party. So I'm being a little like Coach Pettaway this week. I'm throwing a couple of A's out this week, Coach.
Yep, that's good. And the upcoming week, we've got 2 games that is going to intrigue me. Number one, Jackson State has Camel in there for homecoming, even though it's a non-conference opponent. I think this is a big game to find out if Jackson State is really real, because they're stepping outside of the conference. They're playing another FCS school, so we're going to see if they're for real. And then, of course, Texas Southern will be on the reservation. So we're going to see if Alcorn can bounce back from that game.
Well, it's ironic that you have those 2 games highlighted, Coach, and exactly Campbell representing the Big South.
Right.
And they are at the top of the division, and it is going to be that litmus test, not only for Jackson State, but for the conference. And anytime we step outside that conference, I'm always, looking for that extra gravy that I can sop up with my biscuit, right? Mm-hmm. And Jackson State has been the real deal.
Right.
And let's see if it will spill over to the outside foes. Now, believe it or not, Coach, I am going out on a limb this week, and I'm thinking that Texas Southern might have the answer for Alcorn this week.
And that's why I picked the game. We're going to see.
Yes, sir. Texas Southern has a lot to play for right now. They are still, with that loss that Alcorn received to Southern, it kept hope alive for Texas Southern. With that, and the fact that they have Andrew Body, quarterback, and one thing that Texas Southern has not had in recent years was a legitimate, solid quarterback, a QB1. They have that now. They've shown consistency enough on the defense, not giving up a ton of points. Don't be surprised if the Tigers steal one on the reservation, sir.
But I'm looking at it this way. I'm thinking Alcorn is saying, hey, fellas, we only have a game out of this. We're 2-1. The leaders are 3-1. We win this game, we're right back in this race. It's still a 3-way race. So I'm thinking that will motivate Alcorn to win that game, and it's at home. It's in your house. So you don't let anybody else come in your house and take over.
You're right. And look, see, that's why I love talking to you, Coach. On the flip side, going back to Texas Southern, and I'm not saying that because they're my Texas neighbor. I'm just saying it because the reality that they have mid-season in a long time. They have 2 conference losses, but with 1 win, Coach McKinney is telling them, hey, guys, if we can find a way to win this game, not only will we be in the thicket of things, but looking down the road, Southern plays Jackson State. We've already identified that Jackson State is the real deal, right?
Right.
Prairie View has yet to play Alcorn. If those things fall in place, guess who has the head-to-head competition when it comes to Southern University? The Texas Southern Tigers.
Right.
So there's a lot stirring in the pot in this SWAC conference this week, Coach, and I'm glad that we're part of it, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And then, on that east side, Jackson State is 4-0, but you better look at FAM. They won 5 in a row. A&M has won 3 in a row. So the SWAC is playing some great football this year.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know FAM is kicking themselves. Not only did they lose 59-3, but, one of those games, just like with the Prairie View, Texas Southern implications that it have coming out of the gate with a conference game like that, it appears that FAMU's gotten better, but I'm still looking, like I stated earlier, for that signature win.
Right.
But right now it's Jackson's to lose, and it's up in the air in the West.
Oh, yes.
And that's why we play the games, Coach. That's why we play the.
Oh, yes.
Well, look, speaking of playing the games, you hear those whistles blowing and those balls bouncing in the gym, Coach?
Oh, yes. I've been a part of it. I've had an opportunity to sit in and watch some Alabama A&M practices. So it's that time of the year. Basketball's right around the corner.
It's right around the corner, and just as we've been doing for football, if you would grace us with your presence, sir, we would love to continue the conversation throughout the hardwood season, man, and just continue to let you keep doing what you're doing, sir.
Well, that's fine. That's a go. That's a go.
Well, look, that's always good to get confirmation, right? You never assume anything, right?
There you go. But I appreciate what you're doing, and for me to be a part of it is a blessing. So I'm all in.
Well, we're blessed to have you on board, sir. And the more I think about it, Coach, I'm like, man, Coach, we might have to work out something, man, where you get you a standalone weekly show, man. What you think about that, man?
No, I don't think. Hey, look, I don't think I'm ready for anything like that. But
as
long as I could be with you and be a part of you, I think it's great.
All right, Dan. So, look, I tried to put you in the Batman position. You say I'm going to stick with the Robin. I got you, Robin. Well, look, Coach, it's always a joy and a pleasure to be with you, sir. And we can't wait to get it together on the next time around, sir.
Yes, sir. Next Tuesday. Lord say the same, and the creek don't rise. We will see you. He is the dean, Coach Van Pettaway. I'm the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.